Are you interested to become a server? Are you scared to apply because you don't know what it takes to become a server? Or you just want to have an idea of what a server really does? So in today's video, I'm going to give you 10 things that will really help you how to become the best server with little to no experience. So if you're interested, then just keep on watching. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rio from Rio Worldwide, bridging Filipino and American culture. In today's video, I am very excited to talk to you all the things that you need to know on how to become a server with little to no experience. By the way, this video will be a series of videos on how to become the best server you can be, how to get more tips, and how to become the employee of the month. So if you guys are interested, make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you'll always be notified whenever we upload new jam-packed videos. So without further ado, let's now jump into the video. Becoming a server can be nerve-wracking or can be nervous, or for some people it can be, an easy job for them. But for me, it was kind of like nerve-wracking because first is I have no experience working in the food and beverage. I majored tourism management in college and we never talk single wine or liquor or any food in my major. And also at the same time, my past work experience was in the front office department and lifeguard department, so it has no connection at all to food and beverage. So when I first moved to food and beverage, it was kind of scary to me. I was really scared, not just kind of, especially if this is your first time. But of course, the first step that you can do on how to become a server is act as like you are already an experienced server. How? First is you need to start by making yourself familiar with the brands of liquor. So what are the kinds of liquor that you need to memorize? Well, Google can help you with that. But if you guys are also interested, I made a lot of notes when I am starting on how to become a server, so I can make a separate video about it. So make sure to comment down below so I know that you guys are interested and I can make a video of that. So second is that I highly recommend is that of course you want to pick or have your favorite choice of drink. So for example, you love Moscow Mule or you love a martini, so make sure you memorize their ingredients, because sometimes during the interview the the interviewer will ask you what is your favorite cocktail, and then of course you need to tell them what is in there, because you will explain why you love the cocktail. So first, make yourself prepared of what is your favorite cocktail, choose one or two, memorize their ingredients, and let them know why you like it. So in that way, when you are already in action, or you are already communicating with the guests, you know what the drinks you can recommend that you really like and why you like it, so they can also have an idea. You know what I mean? So you're not just selling just to sell, but also because you really love it and you will not feel guilty about it. Next is you need to emphasize that you have a great customer service skills during your interview and also in your resume. Now, do not overthink of like you need to be really good at customer service, because everything can be improved. That's why practice makes improvement. But also at the same time, even though you think that you are not very best on this skill, you need to be confident. Like what they said, fake it until you make it. Also, you need to be a detail-oriented when you want to become a server. Be attentive. Whatever the guest will tell you, take down notes, because you don't want to make a mistake entering the wrong food or wrong order in the system, because not only the guest will be pissed at you, but also the chef, especially if you guys are busy, because no room for mistakes when you guys are busy. Everyone is like just on fire. Okay, next thing that I think you should learn, or maybe you should expect, is to multitask. This is something that is very important thing for you to know and for you to learn, because if you're a server, you need to have a strong physical stamina, because you will be standing, or you will not be sitting for hours. You will just be standing there all throughout your shift, unless you take a break, where you can sit down. But usually most of the restaurants, or even in the hotel, if you're working, you're just basically standing. Before, I thought becoming a server is so easy, like just taking orders and then put it in the system and that's it. But no, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time for you to become really a good server, because especially there's, you know, like especially if it is busy season, and for example you have a busy night and you have like 5 tables, you're gonna be like, oh, 5 tables, that's easy. But how many people are in, you know, gonna be in those tables? Like sometimes you're gonna have 2 tables that have like 10 packs or like have 6 packs, but with kids, you know what I mean? So with kids, you need to put extra effort because they need more attention. But anyway, you know, what I'm trying to say is that you need to have a physical stamina to stand for so many hours, to hold a tray with full of drinks, you know, that's kind of heavy. And also you need to have like really do multitask and do everything so fast, because if it's really busy and you're the kind of person that were like so slow taking orders and putting into system, you're gonna be backed up and you're gonna be in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to scare you, because these skills, you know, it will keeps you, makes it better the more you practice. Anyway, before I forgot, speaking of multitasking, you know, not just you are multitasking or doing a lot of things, but also at the same time while you're super busy, you need to make sure that your guest is happy. So that is your number 1 main responsibility. Keep your guests happy. Just make sure that, you know, be ready to multitask when you apply to become a server. Sorry, I forgot we're filming. I'm multitasking. So next thing is that you need to have a thick skin. What do I mean by this? It means that do not be sensitive when you become a server. Why? Because you will encounter guests that will give you a hard time, or maybe they're having a bad day and they're not just in the mood. You know what I mean? Like you will encounter that. Not even just being a server, but when you work in a customer service, you will always encounter those kind of people. Tell you the truth, you know, because it's not always rainbows and butterflies at work, you know. Sometimes you will encounter guests that are not just, you know, not the guests that you would like to have. But even though it was a negative experience, I've learned so much from them. Literally, I'm not even kidding, I learned so much from them. So if you had a negative experience, don't take it as a negative. Learn from it, grow from it, and try to, you know, do all your best not for it not to happen again. And next thing that you need to do in order for you to show up like an experienced server, even though you've never served before, is to know or study the menu of the restaurant. What do they offer? What kind of food do they offer? What kind of restaurant is you are working for? Is it a fine dining restaurant? Is it a casual restaurant? You know what I mean? Because different kinds of restaurant offers different kinds of service. So it is very important to know what are the food, you know, that they are offering, what are they wine list, what are they drink menu. And it's not gonna be hard because it's all in the Google, you know, it is available there. And when you apply there, they will also teach you, you know, all the menus and stuff like that. So you don't need to worry about it. You just need to be more hunger for growth. And I think you need to add the quick learner thing, because as you go through, you know, you don't need to memorize everything. The more you do it, the more you take orders, or the more you talk to the guests, it becomes more easy, it becomes more natural and second nature to you. And for you to have an idea, when I first become a server, I told you guys that I really don't have an idea of how, you know, how to work in a food and beverage. I even got a review that my guest told me that the server doesn't look like she knows what she's doing. So there you go, guys, you know, just to give you an idea. But like what I've told you guys, learn from your mistakes. So after that, it really makes me, what do you call it? Like, it really motivates me to study harder our menu for me to become a better server, and I can offer, you know, the best experience to the guests. Because I will also feel bad, you know, if I didn't give the right or the best service to the guests while they're paying gold. Know the menu, know the happy hour, know your specials of the day, because guests love hearing those, even though they will not most likely to order those special. Next is know your company rules, because each establishment have different rules. So if you are, for example, was a server before, you cannot just, you know, do the same thing in your new restaurant. Or like, for example, you were a server in the Philippines. Of course, we practice different kind of stuff in terms of serving in, you know, compared to here in the United States. But it's not like really different. It's not like black and white, you know what I mean? It's almost kind of the same, but just the steps of service, there's like certain standards, especially if you're working in a hotel or if it's like a 5-star dining restaurants, they have more strict rules. So make sure that you know the company rules in terms of tips, in terms of communicating to the guests, and what to, you know, like compromise and you cannot compromise. So make sure you know all of that stuff. So next is the most important thing that you really need to learn is the steps of service in a restaurant. If you really want to become a server and you have no experience of serving, you need to know, or you need to impress your managers that, hey, I know the steps of service even though I don't have an experience, because I am really hungry for growth. And your managers are gonna be like, oh, you know, because I'm telling you, a lot of managers or like hiring people or interviewers were looking for someone who is willing to learn and willing to grow with their company. So they're not just looking for the experienced server, but also someone who's hungry for growth, because it's easier to teach a person who's hungry for growth than the people who has, you know, already had experience and think that she knows everything. You know what I mean? So make sure, if you're really interested on how to become the best server, even, you know, with no experience, make sure to click the notification bell, because on my next video I will be teaching you all the steps of service that I personally practice to become employee of the month and to become the best server in your restaurant. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you'll always be notified whenever I upload new job pack videos. And while waiting for that video, make sure to click these 2 videos right here. I make a lot of J1 videos that is for sure will help you with your J1 program, and also a lot of American culture that will help you with your stay here in the United States. So if you're interested, make sure to click these 2 videos right here, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Bye for now.